Gervonta he's not boxing. He can't decide when and where to take a knee because something's got in his eye. You take a knee, it's a knockdown regardless of the situation. It's a 10-8 round. If it's a 10-8 round, as you said, because it was a majority draw, Lamont Roach wins and he changes his life. Steve's got that so wrong, and they need to look at that in New York.
The boxing world is fuming over the fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr., with many protesting to overturn the result in favor of the challenger.
But all of a sudden now you're going to from a majority draw to a split decision win for Lamont Roach. He was robbed. The knee hitting the canvas should be a knockdown. The face getting wiped should be a DQ. They didn't use replay, apparently.
The fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach ended in controversy, with a pivotal moment in the 9th round drawing scrutiny from the New York State Athletic Commission. The commission is now reviewing the incident, which had the potential to alter the outcome of the match, though technical difficulties prevented an immediate in-ring replay review.
Seconds later, seconds after that punch lands, that jab lands, all of a sudden Tank Davis takes a knee. He quickly takes a knee, and there it is right there. 9th round, 217, he is taking a knee and he's looking to his corner, and he also, ever so briefly, it appears as though he's almost trying to call time. Let me tell you, in case you don't know, in boxing, you take a knee, that's considered a knockdown. You cannot call time, and you know what you also can't do? You also can't go to your corner mid-round.
During the 9th round, Roach Jr. connected with a punch that preceded an unusual sequence. Davis took a knee and then moved toward his corner, where one of his cornermen wiped his face. Referee Steve Willis, rather than immediately ruling it a knockdown, started a count but soon allowed the fight to resume without awarding Roach an official knockdown. Due to a technical malfunction, Wysak was unable to review the sequence in real time. In a statement addressing the situation, the commission acknowledged the failure in providing an instant replay feed and confirmed that it is currently assessing the matter to ensure that similar technical issues do not affect future bouts. The statement said, "At this time, the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing the matter involving Saturday's matchup between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis." During the round in question, following the commission's request for the replay video, there was a technical issue preventing the commission from receiving it within the allotted time for review. The impact of Willis's decision proved significant in determining the fight's result. If the knockdown had been recognized and scored as a 10-8 round in Roach Jr.'s favor, the judges' scorecards would have shifted in his direction. Instead, the official verdict was a majority draw, allowing Davis to retain his undefeated record. Judge Eric Malinsky scored the fight 115-113 for Davis, while Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both had it 114-114. Their scoring of the 9th round also played a role in the outcome. Feldman and Malinsky saw the round in favor of Davis, whereas Weisfeld gave it to Roach Jr., though Wysak further added, "Therefore, the referee's in-ring decision was relied upon and the fight continued." The commission is dedicated to preserving the integrity of combative sports and is committed to working with all promotions and production teams, on behalf of the athletes, officials, and fans, to ensure technical issues do not occur in the future that prevent the delivery of ringside instant replay feeds to the commission's officials when needed.
The referee for this fight is a legendary referee. Steve Willis, you have probably seen him in GIFs. You know, he's got that kind of like big-eyed look. You've definitely seen him. He's a veteran of the fight game. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm not suggesting he was in on it. But like, there was certainly a fumbling in this particular.
Roach proved to be a formidable challenger against Davis, who remained unbeaten. Throughout the contest, Roach demonstrated skill and resilience, making a strong case for himself as one of the top competitors in the division. The fight itself was a back-and-forth affair, showcasing moments of brilliance from both fighters. However, the controversy surrounding the 9th round sequence overshadowed the final result and has led to calls for a rematch.
And he said, look, he'll fight him down the line, but that's not what's next. And again, this is Gervonta making things up as he goes along. I think it's a disgraceful decision. And if it was the other way around, if it was Lamont Roach that took the knee, I'm telling you now, Steve Willis is counting and it's a knockdown. Because Gervonta is so big, and maybe because it didn't look like a punch connected, it's kind of thrown Steve Willis off here. But an experienced ref who's been doing world title fights for more than 2 decades should know that's a knockdown, and that should have been a 10-8 round.
Among those advocating for a second fight is Joe Rogan, who shared his thoughts on social media. Expressing admiration for Roach Jr.'s performance, he acknowledged the high level of competition between the two and voiced support for a rematch. Rogan posted, "Watching the replay of the outstanding title fight last night between @Gervonta and @1of1x. I had never seen Lamont fight before, but I'm a big fan now. Fight was a draw, but it was an amazing contest and I really hope they run it back." Showbiz the Adult also weighed in on the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach controversy, suggesting Roach should use the infamous hair grease excuse as a psychological tactic in a rematch. He emphasized that Davis never seriously hurt Roach, who remained composed and strategically adjusted throughout the fight. Comparing it to Antonio Tarver's upset over Roy Jones Jr., he noted that familiarity can expose weaknesses, as Roach seemed to anticipate Davis's moves. Showbiz believed that with the right adjustments, Roach could change the outcome in a rematch, given how competitive and controversial their first fight had been.
You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? That is it. Lamont, please say that in the second fight. Any questions? You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, you got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, hey, bruh, be on that. Because here's the thing. He never hurt Roach. Roach just waited. And Roach was squared up and turned sideways. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't think he had that. He was like, I'm like, oh my. And then he just sitting there like, you can't. I know what you're going to do because I've trained with you since we were kids. Tarver beat Roy, but he knew Roy since amateurs. Roy said he never liked fighting sparring partners because they know you so well. I should have listened to Roy.
WBA President Gilberto Mendoza is considering putting the potential rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach to a vote within the championship committee. Mendoza acknowledged the controversy surrounding the fight and emphasized the need to send a clear message about fairness in boxing. He suggested that the circumstances of the 9th round warrant a second bout as the public perception of the sport is at stake. He stated, "I think it's not going to be a doubt about having a rematch on this. I think this supersedes the public perception of boxing involved here with a huge star for the sport, and we need to send a strong message out there. It was a very controversial night. Maybe Willis saw a competitive fight, maybe he saw it wasn't a punch, but how can you understand how he put the knee on the canvas? If the WBA officially mandates a rematch and Davis declines, the organization would have grounds to strip him of his title. Davis had initially planned to call out a different opponent after the fight, but the unexpected draw disrupted those plans. However, a rematch would not be difficult to arrange, as a rematch clause was already included in the original fight contract.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
Well, what is?
You might see it in a minute. You definitely might see it in a minute.
Roach, considered a significant underdog heading into the fight, exceeded expectations by pushing Davis to the limit. Had the 9th round been correctly ruled a knockdown, the scoring would have resulted in Roach winning by unanimous decision. The controversy stemmed from a moment where a light jab from Roach appeared to obscure Davis's vision, causing him to take a knee. Rather than administering a standard knockdown count, referee Steve Willis allowed Davis to walk to his corner and have his face wiped before restarting the action.
Got my hair done 2 days ago and she picked grease in my shit, so the shit was like, like when you sweating and things like that and the grease come in my face, it burnt my eyes type shit. Damn, why y'all booing like I'm saying bullshit? Like, this is real facts.
The rules of boxing state that if a fighter voluntarily takes a knee, a knockdown should be called, making Willis's decision a source of frustration for many. Davis, in his post-fight comments, attributed the issue to hair grease running into his eyes. He explained that his hairstylist had recently done his hair, and as he began sweating during the fight, the product caused a burning sensation in his eyes.
You get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must ain't do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And like you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, But I didn't really know that you can like get disqualified qualified for all that. Or like when he started counting, I'm like, what the hell?
His explanation was met with skepticism from the crowd, which responded with boos. Frustrated, Davis defended himself in the ring, questioning why fans doubted his claim and urging them to consider his hair's appearance as proof. His New York-based hairstylist Lee the Brand later took to social media to refute his excuse. She pointed out that she had done his hair 3 days before the fight and noted that he had undergone multiple media and training sessions since then. She also revealed the exact product she used, a conditioning shine that, according to its label, contained no grease.
Tank made the walk, and apparently there's an account out there of someone who claims to be the person who worked on his hair, who said that since she did his hair, he worked out, he weighed in, he lost weight, blah, 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 and nothing happened of the sort. Now, all of a sudden, in the 9th round, he's saying that his eye is on fire and he can't see. I don't know if it bothered him. He didn't say if it bothered him afterwards, but it seemed to have bothered him right in that moment, and then he gets his face wiped down and whatnot. The knee hitting the canvas is so important.
Following the fight, Roach reflected on the 9th round moment and the overall outcome. He expressed his belief that since Davis voluntarily took a knee and the referee initially began a count, it should have been officially scored as a knockdown. Despite the controversy, Roach maintained that he felt he had done enough to win, regardless of that specific moment. However, he remained eager for a rematch, making it clear that he wanted another opportunity to settle the score.
Tank want a rematch. Let me know now. Do you want to fight Tank again? He said he open to do a rematch. Do you want to fight Tank
100%.
again?
It's only a matter of time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight again. It's just whenever the fight gonna happen.
So it's gonna happen.
It's going to happen.
Okay. They say they want it in New York again. Do you want to fight again in the Barclays Center?
I wouldn't mind, but I'd love for it to be in DC.
Okay, cool.
I love for it to be in DC.
Roach maintained that he fought well throughout the match and didn't believe the 9th round knockdown controversy was the sole deciding factor.
When you think about what happened in the 9th round, how frustrated are you that wasn't counted as a knockdown?
Man, I'm not. Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out his eye, he had to wipe sweat out his eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in there. I think I was taking control. I think I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots. And I thought I was doing my thing. So I'm not really that frustrated about that. But if that was kind of a knockdown, I would win the majority decision.
Yeah, Lamont, this is Matt from Brunch Boxing. What explanation, if any, were you given about why that particular sequence was not properly called a knockdown?
I don't know. Did y'all see me in the ring tell him to keep counting? he started counting. I was like, why you stop? Like, keep counting. But I honestly don't know. I don't know. But I can't go back and change it. So.
Lamont, Chantel, congrats, man, on fighting a great fight. A lot of people agree with you that you did win the fight. Just can you talk about Gervonta's power? He got you with some good shots, but you kept staying in the center of the ring with him. A lot of other fighters don't deal with the power as well. How do you assess his power after being in there for 12?
He got decent power. He got decent power for sure. I ain't gonna say it's exaggerated. I told you I got a chin. I ain't going like that. It's just not gonna happen. But like I said, I see why he knocked people out, and I think he felt my power too. Like, I think that's what negated a lot of his shots. And once I took his best shot, I was like, oh yeah, it's time to roll.
Roach's father and trainer, Lamont Roach Sr., also voiced his frustration, stating that they should have had their hand raised in victory. However, he found some silver lining in the situation, noting that his son had gained recognition on a global scale. As for the controversy surrounding Davis taking a knee, Roach Sr. didn't believe it ultimately decided the fight, as he had personally scored 7 rounds for his son and was confident they had done enough to win. Still, the official verdict didn't go their way.
Bittersweet. You said could have. I say we should have had our hand raised. We should have got the decision. But this boxing, we didn't. It was a great fight, like I expected. But I knew my son was game. Training camp, he was so focused and locked in. I knew that we was gonna put on a great performance, and it was kind of like stolen away from him a little bit with the decision. But the world got to see how good he is, so that's the plus to come out of this. So he really stamped himself in the boxing world.
The response from the boxing world was swift, with fighters, analysts, and fans taking to social media to express outrage. Some went as far as calling it outright robbery. Regis Prograis immediately called for a rematch, but also suggested another potential fight. Run it back. If not, it's time for Tank versus Shakur now.
Is it a difficult one to take because of the controversy certainly surrounding the Tank taking the knee moment, and then, like I say, not getting it on the scorecards?
Yeah, I thought we won without it, to be honest with you. I thought we didn't need that. We shouldn't have needed that either to get to the decision. I can't see him winning 7 rounds that fight.
Devin Haney also took a jab at Davis, making a pointed remark. I was waiting for the backflip, referencing Davis's signature post-fight celebration, which was noticeably absent after the controversial draw. Keyshawn's Davis strongly believed Roach had won and suggested that even calling it a draw was generous to Davis. He didn't just share his opinion on the outcome, but also made his own challenge. He confidently stated that if either of them ever stepped into the ring with him, he would knock them out.
I ain't shit on the decision, but I did feel like Lamont Roach did win, pull it off. But the counters and shit, man, let me counter, man. It's just some shit, you just can't do it. Shouts out to that event, though. It was a great event at the end of the day. It was a great event. Great event. It was a great fight. They put in a fantastic performance. Both of them did. They need to run it back. But I don't want to fight one of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who I fight at this point. I don't care. But I'm telling you, if you give me either or before they rematch, I'm f***ing rematch up. They getting put. I'm telling you, I ain't even playing. I ain't playing, bro. I'm young. I'm on fire.
Even Jake Paul, who was ringside despite his past beef with Davis, weighed in on the result. While he acknowledged the controversy, he wasn't fully convinced that Roach had been robbed. Roach showed out, but I thought Tank edged it out. Draw if you count the knee as a knockdown. He was more precise, bigger shots, but more than anything, I thought easy work. Tell me different. Former world champion Ishii Smith was even more blunt in his criticism of Willis. Steve Willis should never be allowed to ref another fight. There is no explanation for not calling that a knockdown, and the mini break in the corner is wild as well. Among the most vocal critics was Terrence Crawford, who was quick to call out the perceived injustice. Roach won, and that should have been called a knockdown. I have never seen someone take a knee and they don't count it as a knockdown. He doubled down after the fight, expressing frustration with the officiating. They robbed that boy and it's crazy. Must have forgot the rules for tonight. Ryan Garcia, one of Davis's biggest rivals, also shared his disbelief. Lamont won that. Not calling that knockdown is the most wild thing I ever seen in boxing. That type of stuff makes boxing look bad. Crazy. See y'all May 2nd. Danny Garcia was highly impressed by Roach's performance and acknowledged that Roach proved himself on the world stage. When asked whether the fight should have been a draw, Garcia hesitated before walking away, leaving his stance on the result unclear.
It was a close fight. I'm not surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with him? Out. Every night in boxing is not your best, you feel me? But at least you got the draw.
Would you like to see a rematch of this or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
Whatever they want to do. You think it was a draw? I don't know. I thought it was a good fight.
Appreciate it, Danny.
George Kambosos Jr. took the opportunity to fire back at Davis, referencing their past exchanges. Ouch, there goes the perfect record. That was a knockdown. That ultimately made the difference. He also reminded Davis of the times he had mocked Kambosos for his losses to Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko. The dwarf had a go at me for my losses to Haney and Loma. Time to look at yourself, wonky tanky. Great work, Roach. Respect. Tanky, the jig is up. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, a former opponent of Davis, also criticized the officiating. He praised Roach's performance and argued that had the knockdown been counted, Roach would have won outright. Cruz also took the moment to call for a rematch against Davis, making it clear he still wants another shot at him.
Pues ahora sí que dieron una gran pelea, pero ahora sí que me sorprendió la pelea que dio Loma Roach y bueno, fue una gran pelea para todos los aficionados.
¿Tú crees que fue un empate?
No, yo creo que no. Creo que le quedaron a deber la caída a Loman Roach, pero bueno, decisión de los jueces y del referee que no le hizo válida la caída, no le hizo el conteo.
¿Qué le fue mal en esa pelea para Gervonta? ¿Qué fue lo que no hizo para
para que los jueces le den esta pelea. ¿Tú qué piensas?
Bueno, él nada más apostó a un solo round, que a un solo golpe para poderlo noquear, y el cual Loma venía muy bien preparado, muy bien concentrado en el plan de trabajo. Bueno, creo que a Tank le faltó presionar, tirar más golpes para ser más contundente y que se viera más efectivo a la hora de la victoria.
¿Te gustaría ver una revancha entre ellos?
Pues estaría muy agradable. Ahora sí que la primera estuvo muy buena, yo creo que la segunda también.
Shakur Stevenson also believed Roach had done enough to win, pointing out that Davis' overconfidence may have cost him. He had previously warned that Roach was a dangerous opponent, and the fight proved him right. When asked if he was still interested in facing Davis, Stevenson didn't hesitate.
Shakur, did you think it was a draw? No. Which one Lamont won? Who you thought won? Lamont.
You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know. You still want the Tank Davis fight? You said what? You still want the Tank Davis fight?
What went wrong? What went wrong?
Take out a little steam or fire out of it, or is it still the same? I mean, we're gonna see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this, so.
Shakur, what went wrong for Gervonta in this fight? Just because, could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in really?
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was gonna go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence has been up. I've been knew I was the best.
Keyshawn, what's your worst to Keyshawn? He just won his first title. Good.
With so much controversy surrounding the fight, the pressure for a rematch continues to build. Whether Davis and Roach meet again in the ring remains to be seen, but the backlash from the boxing community has made one thing clear: this outcome won't be forgotten anytime soon. So what are your thoughts about this fight? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.